What's going on, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com. You have to admit, T-Mobile's Android lineup, well, it's pretty impressive. On one hand, you have the Samsung Galaxy S 4G, a revised version of the Vibrant. We saw it at Mobile World Congress, and basically it's the same design, but with a few minor improvements. Front-facing camera, new battery door, bigger battery, Android 2.2. Then on the other hand, you have the industry, or at least the T-Mobile champion, the myTouch 4G. 1 GHz processor, 3.8-inch display, 5 megapixel camera, running Android 2.2 as well. So you have two high-end devices on T-Mobile, two high-end Android devices at that. What do you do? Well, you know what we do. It's going to be a dogfight between the Samsung Galaxy S 4G and the T-Mobile myTouch 4G. Who's going to win? Well, we're going to find out, but first, special thanks to our friends at Best Buy. They've hooked us up with two of these, total of 4, so we can give them away to you in the One Paw Bandit game after our iPod Shuffle Super giveaway is done. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you walk out working, so you get either of these devices, you'll walk out working with all your stuff set up. Enough of that, let's get into it. Samsung Galaxy S 4G, T-Mobile myTouch 4G, who's going to win? Well, we're going to figure it out. Two Android heavyweights on T-Mobile, but only one can take home the gold. On one hand, you have the T-Mobile Galaxy S 4G made by Samsung, 1 GHz Hummingbird processor, and really in terms of design, it looks just like the Vibrant, except it does a couple of different notable features. Adds a front-facing camera, has that new battery door, has a larger battery, 1,650 milliamps instead of 1,500, like the Vibrant has. New battery door, I think I already said that. Android 2.2. And then it does support T-Mobile's HSPA plus 21 megabits per second technology. So it is the fastest device in T-Mobile. It's capable of achieving the fastest speeds on their network, assuming you're in an HSPA plus area. And even if you're not, the backhaul supposedly has been improved to help there. But anyway, 1 GHz Hummingbird processor, 4-inch Super AMOLED display, 5 megapixel camera, although there's still no flash on the camera. And like I said, front-facing for video calling. To take a look at the design quickly, volume rocker on the left side, power button on the right side, micro USB charging port with the slide door on the left, 3.5mm headphone jack up there at the top, and then, like I said, similar design with the chrome edges, and then your capacitive buttons down here at the bottom. Now, skipping over to the myTouch 4G made by Samsung, and it comes in several different colors. This one comes in plum, but it, plum's my color, but what can I say? But 1 GHz second generation Snapdragon processor, 3.8-inch display, front-facing camera, 5 megapixel camera. So it's, in terms of specs, right up there as well. Second generation Snapdragon's very fast, also has the front-facing camera. Battery's a little bit larger, 1,400 milliamps, and power button, 3.5mm headphone jack. Camera shortcut button, which is a big one for me. And then what looks like some sort of dock connector or magnet connector there. Micro USB charging port on the left side and volume rocker on the left side as well. So it's, all in all, it has a great feel to it. Now the difference to this one, it's also running Android 2.2, by the way. Difference with this one, metal battery door, as you can tell, as opposed to an all plastic design. So even though the sides of this are clearly plastic, the plum colors, the back is metal, and then certain other elements are metal as well to give it this kind of premium in-hand feel as opposed to more of a cheap plastic feel. Not to say that the Galaxy S isn't built well. Build quality is pretty decent, but you can definitely tell a difference. So as I said, both of these come with Android 2.2. The difference here, Samsung's comes with TouchWiz user interface. The myTouch 4G comes with HTC's Sense user interface. So two different designs, even though both of these are running the same operating system, two completely different looks. Let's take a look at TouchWiz first. You can clearly tell that this mimics the iPhone. Before the iPhone was available on Verizon, people used to come to me and say, which phone should I get? I want an iPhone. I want something that has the look and feel of an iPhone, or Sprint, or T-Mobile for that matter. And I'd say one of the Galaxy S phones, because the whole menu interface looks just like an iPhone. Even though it is Android, the app sliding from left to right, you can tell, very, very closely mimics an iPhone. You have your four icons down here, and then you get, like I said, scrolling over, and then the icons are kind of boxed in traditional iPhone layout. Now these are boxed in as well, but you can clearly tell more of an Android setup here with the icons, or the apps rather, scrolling up and down, and a little bit more, just across the board from the way the notifications bar looks. This one, that's what it looks like. Minor revision in Android 2.2 over Android 2.1, but you could just tell some minor differences. It's going to be a love-hate thing. Take a look at both of these in the store because, I happen to prefer Sense for my personal day-to-day use over TouchWiz, but hey, you know, you could be different. So there are quite a few differences between these devices, so be sure to take a look. Pre-installed on the Galaxy S 4G, you have AirSync, AllShare, Double Twist, and then Drive Smart, which is one of my favorite programs, which I've talked about in some of the Galaxy S 4G videos. It's a program that allows you to turn on this application, and whenever somebody calls you, it sends them an auto text message saying, hey, I'm driving. You know, when it's turned on, they can send you, or it sends them a text message saying, hey, I'm driving, I'll call you back when I stop. So fantastic. And then you can upgrade to Drive Smart Plus if you have a teenager, somebody that's driving for the first time, and once the car is in motion, the phone can automatically tell that. Moving on, GoGo in-flight Wi-Fi. Avatar has been replaced by Inception. You'll see some minor changes like the HD camcorder here, the icon's changed. Layer, Samsung's Media Hub, which has been improved. My Account, these are both T-Mobile apps. My Account, My Device, News and Weather, which is a Google thing. T-Mobile TV, Slacker, Quick Video Chat, Wi-Fi calling, and then Telenav GPS. So you get quite a few things pre-installed on this device, and visual voicemail as well. This one is also, in addition to being Wi-Fi calling capable, so if you're ever in that area where T-Mobile's service isn't the best, you can jump on Wi-Fi calling, though it still uses your planned minutes. You can see here, we'll go into, jump into wireless and network. You can see in mobile AP, mobile access point, you can use it as a mobile hotspot. And then on the T-Mobile myTouch 4G, you know, some similar apps, but some minor differences. Amazon MP3, T-Mobile's App Pack, Asphalt 5, which is a pre-installed game. You'll see a couple of additional ones, the myTouch demo video, FriendStream, which is HTC's social aggregation tool, you know, bring in your MySpace, your Twitter, your Facebook, all in one, easy to use application. There's a corresponding widget as well. Yahoo Mail, you'll see Yahoo Messenger, Monopoly, so quite a few pre-installed things on this device. T-Mobile's My Account and My Device, which you saw over here. Rock Band is pre-installed. T-Mobile TV and Wi-Fi calling, so you do get those on this device as well. Quick Video Chat, since it does have the front-facing camera, and Wi-Fi hotspot. So it does have a physical icon here, as opposed to it not being on the Galaxy S 4G. So something to keep in mind, but both of those devices are capable of being used as mobile hotspots. So if you use these devices at all, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Well, for me at least, it's text messaging. Taking a look at some of the native options that are available. Let's jump into text messaging, see what the keyboards look like. Now in this one you get two different options. You get swipe and you get HTC Sense keyboard, and then you get drag and dictation as well. This one's a little funky. You can tap to speak, and I haven't quite honestly figured this one out. You know, I think it's just a revised keyboard, and then you can tap to speak, but I haven't used it. I'll be honest with you, I haven't used it. You have swipe as well, and then you have HTC's Sense keyboard, which I find to be the best. So we'll type the quick brown fox is tired of the bad weather. So the jock brown fox is tired of the bad weather. So you can see, you know, pretty easy to type on. It is a smaller display. It's 3.8 inches, as I said, so it's a little bit smaller. And that said, it's harder to type on. So if you're used to the Droid Incredible, something in that kind of display size range, you'll be perfectly fine with this. But if you're coming from something like a Droid X, or a device that has a 4 or 4.3 inch display, at least for me, I notice the difference. Now you can use it in landscape mode as well, or in portrait. Now let's take a look at the Galaxy S 4G. You get a couple of keyboard options with this as well. Gone is the traditional Android keyboard. It's been replaced by the Samsung keypad and swipe as well, so you do have both options. The Samsung keypad, you know, love-hate thing. I actually prefer the Android keyboard over anything, well, rephrase that, over anything on this device, the Android keyboard. So we'll say, hey there. No, let's do the quick brown fox. The quick brown fox went to get lunch. So you can see, you know, pretty easy to type on. Keys are spaced, they're island keys. And that, you know, overall, like you look at the island keys as opposed to those, you know, there's a little bit more space in between the keys. But of course, you can use it in landscape mode as well. And while I'm on that topic, you can see that the buttons at the bottom are a little bit different. These are physical buttons on the myTouch 4G, whereas they're capacitive on the Galaxy S 4G. You also get the trackpad on the myTouch 4G that you do not get on the Galaxy S 4G. So just something I wanted to point out. But you can see, you know, text messaging very easy to type on both of these devices. But again, take a look at it in store, because the keyboard, you know, you may like a keyboard that I don't like and vice versa. But in terms of this Dogfight, I'd have to give the keyboard to the myTouch 4G. I think HTC Sense keyboard, at least out of all of the options that are available here, is still the best. Let's jump into web because I want to take a look quickly at the flash capability, since both of these devices are Android 2.2. They run flash. We'll see, phonedog.com. And again, I just can't get over, if you feel both of these in store, there's just a premium feel to this device that none of the other devices, at least I feel, have. G2, I like the G2. There are metal elements to the G2, but it still feels a little wobbly with the keyboard. You look at this, it's a little bit plasticky. So I really like the way this feels. It has a good weight to it, and I remember thinking that for the first time when I held it in my hand the day it launched. So you have PhoneDog here and PhoneDog here. Let's take a look at the pinch to zoom and make sure the advertisements are running. We'll do this one first. So you can see pinch to zoom, even with those advertisements in the background, pretty responsive. Pretty easy to use, pretty responsive. And there's portrait and landscape. So quick to transition. Jumps up and down with ease. Sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. I think there's a helicopter that just went by. But anyway, zoom in, zoom out. We'll tap to zoom. Bam, bam, bam. And then you can see on the Galaxy S4G equally fast. Now this is one place where I was pleasantly surprised. Honestly, on the browser front, I have to give it just slightly to the Galaxy S4G. I think it's a little bit faster. And for an Android 2.2 device, that's running flash, that's pretty impressive. If you remember back to the early devices that were running flash, Android 2.2 and flash, pinch to zoom was absolutely terrible. They've definitely improved their game a little bit. But in terms of browser details, we'll take a look at those. See here. Now you'd notice there, actually I don't know if the camera showed it, but that button lagged up for about 3 seconds. And I was pressing it and it was being unresponsive. So odd little things like that have happened while I've been using the Galaxy S4G. I don't know if it's my personal unit, but just something to be aware of. You can see here's what it looks like on the Galaxy S4G. Here's what it looks like on the myTouch, and we'll jump into Windows, for example. I happen to like, and this is a minor thing, but I like the way the Windows display on this device a little bit better. So I'm going to T-Mobile's little home page. I jump through the windows. I want to go back to PhoneDog. I actually get visual pictures, or visuals rather, of what the pages look like. I see Windows here, and I can do the same thing on this device, but I just like the layout of how it looks on Sense. Again, these are really minor things.